Okay, everybody, we are moving on into segment number 46 of Eugene's birthday special with the 1995 PC version of Jeopardy. Let's see how I do in this game. Yeah, let's do the TV and movies. Why not? We'll do TV and movies. Because why the heck not?
Welcome to Jeopardy! Let's begin our game.
Alright. I think I'll be him. And they're gonna be beanies. Let's just begin.
Now for the Jeopardy round, in which one daily
Hitchcock.
double will appear somewhere on the board.
Horror actors.
Here are the categories.
In the theater. Movie darlings. Spacecraft, and finally, tough guys.
Good luck. Contestant number one,
Hitchcock
we'll start
100.
with you. The answer there is...
She played James Stewart's society girlfriend in Rear Window.
Contestant number one.
Who is Vera Miles?
Sorry, incorrect. Anyone else? Contestant number three.
Oh, Janet Leigh, that's right.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not.
That's not right.
That's wrong, too.
Contestant number two.
Grace Kelly.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number two.
Hitchcock became famous for this screening at the start of his TV show.
Contestant number three.
Good evening.
Yes,
Yep.
That's correct. Contestant number three.
Hitchcock 300. Kim Novak killed herself in Vertigo by jumping from this structure.
Contestant number three.
What is a church?
You are correct. Contestant number three.
Alright. Hitchcock made a memorable cameo by floating by the actors in this movie.
Contestant number two.
Rear Window.
Sorry, incorrect.
I think it was Vertigo for some reason. Oh, Lifeboat.
Contestant number three.
These creatures went berserk in this film of the same name.
Contestant number two.
Dogs, no.
Wrong. Contestant number three.
The Birds, oh yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number three.
Alright, horror actors. She played Mina in the Coppola version of Dracula.
Contestant number one.
Who is Talia Shire? No.
Yes.
Winona Ryder.
That's correct. Contestant number two.
She currently stars in The X-Files.
Contestant number one.
Who is Gillian Anderson?
Yes,
Horror
that's
Actors
correct.
300.
Contestant number one.
He became famous in The Pit and the Pendulum.
Contestant number two.
Vincent Price.
You are
Yeah.
correct. Contestant number two.
He played Count Orlok in the silent Nosferatu.
Contestant number two.
Max Schreck.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number two.
Jonathan Frid gained fame playing this vampire character on Dark Shadows.
Contestant number two.
Barnabas Collins.
You are correct. Contestant number two.
In the theater.
It's the Daily Double.
She's gonna go just 100 on this clue. Alright. Just a clue. It's the time between Act 1 and Act 2. Intermission, yep.
You are correct. Contestant number two.
This word describes how steeply the stage is angled toward the audience.
Contestant number three.
What is rake?
You are correct. Contestant number three.
In the theater 300. Before modern makeup, actors put this on their faces to give them a uniform complexion.
Contestant number 3.
Grease paint, no.
Ooh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Pancake makeup?
You are correct. Yep. Contestant number 2.
As you move closer to the audience on the stage, you're said to be moving this.
Contestant number 3.
Off stage.
Sorry, that's incorrect.
What is downstage?
Yes,
In
that's
the theater
correct.
500.
Contestant number 1.
She's the person who designs the dance steps for a musical or dance show.
Contestant
Who
number
is the
1.
choreographer?
You are correct. Contestant number
Movie
1.
Darlings 100. She won an Academy Award for her role as the daughter in Paper Moon.
Contestant number 1.
Who is Tatum O'Neal?
You are correct. Contestant number 1.
She played the daughter in E.T.
Contestant number
Who's
1.
Drew Barrymore?
You are correct. Contestant number 1. The answer there is...
Gabby Hoffman was the daughter in this magical baseball movie.
Contestant number 1.
What is Field of Dreams?
You are correct. Contestant number 1.
Zuzu lost them. George Bailey later found them.
Contestant number 2.
Petals?
You are correct. Contestant number 2. Here is the clue.
This movie about a club of young girls was based on the best-selling series of young adult books.
Contestant number 1.
What's the Babysitter's Club?
You are correct. Contestant number 1.
Spacecraft 100. In The Right Stuff, it was the rocket used to send John Glenn into orbit.
Contestant number 2.
Saturn V, no.
Sorry, incorrect. Contestant number 3.
No.
Oh, sorry, that's not right.
Foop. The Atlas.
Contestant number
200.
1.
This was the American space mission that nearly became a disaster, inspiring the film.
Contestant number 2.
What is Challenger?
Sorry, incorrect. Contestant number 3.
Mercury? No.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 1.
What's Apollo 13?
Yes, that's
300.
correct. Contestant number 1. The answer there is...
This was the kind of fighter that defended the Battlestar Galactica.
Contestant number 3.
X-Wing?
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Cylon, no.
Incorrect.
Hey, Tiger. Here, kitty. It's a Viper.
Contestant number 1.
400. In Planet of the Apes, the travelers were put in this state to endure the long flight.
Contestant number 2.
Suspended animation?
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
It's the Enterprise's original. It's the Enterprise's number in the original Star Trek.
Contestant number 3.
NCC 1701.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
It was John Wayne's given name.
Contestant number 1.
What was... John Wayne. What was Duke? I don't know.
Sorry. Contestant...
John Bond? No.
Sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Arnold Rothschild.
No, I'm afraid that is not correct. Contestant number 3.
He was the hard-nosed detective in The Maltese Falcon.
Contestant number 3.
James Cagney, no.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Humphrey Bogart, yeah.
You are correct. Contestant number
Camera's low on
2.
battery, but I think we'll be okay. He became a star by playing the ruthless Vito Corleone in The Godfather.
Contestant number 1.
Who is Al Pacino?
Wrong. Contestant.
Robert De Niro.
Correct. Contestant number 3.
He turned his karate career into a career as a Texas Ranger.
Contestant
Who's
number
Chuck
1.
Norris?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 1.
He was an unhinged bank robber in Dog Day Afternoon. Now it's Al Pacino.
You are correct.
Double Jeopardy time.
Now for the Double Jeopardy round, with 2
Cheers.
daily doubles somewhere on the board
I
in
Love
these
Lucy.
categories.
Late night talk shows. Screenplays. Sitcom actors, and finally, TV vixens.
Good. We'll begin the game with the answer there is
The position Ted Dance's character played during his professional sports career.
contestant number 2.
Goalie, no.
I'm sorry, that's wrong.
Pitcher.
Contestant number 3.
What Cliff said the meaning of life was in the last episode.
Contestant number 2.
Shoes?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. Contestant number 2.
Before being hired at Cheers, Woody was taking a mail-order bartending course in this state.
Contestant number 2.
Iowa, no.
Incorrect. Contestant number 3.
Indiana?
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
The profession of the character played by John Ratzenberger.
Contestant number 2.
Psychiatrist? No.
Oh, sorry. That's not right. Contestant number 3.
Mailman.
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
What Carla's husband, Eddie LeBeck, was killed by.
Contestant number 2.
A Zamboni machine?
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
Lucy tried to get into the Tropicana disguised as this instrument.
Contestant.
A tuba?
Sorry.
A stringed bass.
Contestant number 2.
The actor whose cement footprints Lucy stole from Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Contestant number 3.
John Wayne?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
Lucy stomped grapes on a vat in this country. In a vat in this country.
Contestant number 2.
Italy?
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
Lucy's ancestry was from this country.
Contestant number 3.
Scotland?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
Daily double.
The answer there is one of the 2 daily doubles.
I'm gonna go 1,000 on this clue. Alright. Ricky performed at this club. Oh, the Tropicana? No.
You are correct.
Oh, that is right.
Contestant number 3.
He referred to his band as his posse.
Contestant number 2.
Jay Leno? No.
Sorry, incorrect. Contestant number 1.
Who is Johnny Carson? No.
Incorrect.
Arsenio Hall.
Contestant number 3.
The Tonight Show premiered in this year.
Contestant number 1.
What is 1962?
Ooh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Contestant number 2.
1954.
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
He hosted The Tomorrow Show for NBC and now works for CBS.
Contestant number 2.
Mike Snyder?
Sorry, that's incorrect. Contestant number 3.
David Letterman? No.
Incorrect.
Tom Snyder.
Contestant number 2.
On The Late Show, this is the only nightly feature that is compiled by the Home Office.
Contestant number
What is
1.
the top 10 list?
You are contestant number 1.
Pat Harrington Jr. appeared regularly on The Jack Paar Show, then went on to play Schneider in this sitcom.
Contestant number 2.
One Day at a Time.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 2.
Renowned as a playwright, this man was nominated for Best Screenplay when he co-authored Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
Contestant number 3.
Tom Stoppard.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
1939's Winner, produced by David O. Selznick, was adapted by Sidney Howard from her famous novel. What is Gone with the Wind?
Sorry,
Foop.
that's incorrect. Contestant number 3.
Oh, Margaret Mitchell.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
Patty Chayefsky took the award in 1976 for this mad as hell dark comedy.
Contestant number
What is
1.
Network?
You are correct.
Screenplay's 800.
Contestant number 1.
1963's Best Adapted Screenplay winner was Tom Jones, which was adapted from this 18th century novelist.
Contestant number 2.
Henry Fielding.
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
In 1955, this film won for Best Original Screenplay, even though it had no dialogue.
Contestant number 3.
The Red Balloon. Yep.
Contestant number...
He played Mr. Furley, who replaced Mr. Roper as the landlord.
Contestant number 3.
Norman Fell? No.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Jeffrey Tambor?
No, I'm afraid that is not correct. Contestant number 1.
I'll just say who is Don Knotts.
You are correct. Contestant
400.
number 1.
He played Benson and also played the Phantom in the musical.
Contestant number 3.
LeVar Burton? No.
Sorry, incorrect. Anyone else?
Who's Robert Guillaume?
Contestant number 1. Yes, contestant
600.
number 1.
After Three's Company ended in 1984, this actor went on to his own spin-off series called Three's a Crowd.
Contestant number
Who's
1.
John Ritter?
You are correct.
800.
Contestant number 1.
A former magician, he played Judge Stone on Night Court.
Contestant number 3.
Richard Mole?
Sorry,
No.
that's incorrect. Contestant number 2.
David Copperfield? No.
No, I'm afraid that is not correct.
I'm not buzzing in on this one because I don't know. Harry Anderson.
Contestant
1,000.
number 1.
As Fish on Barney Miller, this actor became popular for his stoic deadpan delivery.
Contestant number 2.
Abe Vigoda.
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
She plays Kelly Bundy on Married with Children.
Contestant
There's Christina
number 1.
Applegate.
You are correct.
400.
Contestant number 1. Here is
She played the starlet Ginger on Gilligan's Island.
contestant number 1.
Oh, who is Tina? Oh, I know her name. Tina something.
Wrong.
I don't remember her last name.
Contestant number 2.
Dawn Wells? No.
Incorrect. Contestant number
Tina
3.
somebody. Not Eve Plum. Tina Louise.
No, I'm afraid that is not. Contestant number 1.
Kirstie Alley appeared on Cheers beginning this year.
Contestant number 1.
What is 1986?
Sorry, incorrect.
No.
Anyone else? Contestant number 2.
1987.
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
It's a close game right now. Heather Locklear plays this character on Melrose Place. Amanda Woodward.
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
She left the role of Chrissy Snow on Three's Company in 1981.
Contestant
Who's Suzanne
number 1.
Summers?
You are correct. The final Jeopardy
Silent film
category
stars.
is contestant number 1. What would you like to wager?
I will wager 3,101.
The final Jeopardy clue.
She starred in The Wing. Who is Lillian Gish?
Contestant number 3. Your final Jeopardy response was, sorry.
It is
That's
Lillian
incorrect.
Gish.
Let's see what contestant number 3
So I'm
wagered.
going to get Eugene 7,601.
Your total? Contestant number 2, your final Jeopardy response was, yes, that's correct. Let's see what contestant number 2 wagered.
Everything. Oh, wow.
Your total? Contestant number 1, your final Jeopardy response was, yes, that's correct. Let's see what contestant number 1 wagered.
So I go up to 7,601. That's how much Eugene's going to get for this game.
Your total?
All right.
Contestant number 1, you are now the
Camera's
reigning
about to run out of
Jeopardy
battery.
champion. Congratulations.
And I'll see you all for that next segment. We'll be right back.